There are just certain moments you don't want to wreck, you know? And some of those moments are scripted and just have to do with the beauty and the first timiness of unwrapping a glorious, beautiful work of art or present or a wonderful thing about life for the first time ever. And you can't really give somebody back that experience. And so intuitively, if we're socially eyes up in the moment, we know I don't wreck that for somebody. It's special. But then there are these other moments that just happen. You don't see them coming, and they're not scripted, and they're not planned. But in the moment, it was so simple, and it was so exactly right, and it meant so very much. And I'm thinking of a few of those in my own life, and I'm not going to share them with you now or ever, because these are the pearls. This is the deep stuff. This is the kind of stuff you hold close to your heart, because it was a moment, and it was beautiful. And it meant a billion things that were vitally important at that moment, but it was also simple. And if I want to make myself feel like vomiting, all I have to do is picture those handful of the most transcendent, important moments in my life and imagine some idiot charging in loudly and saying a bunch of stupid stuff about their opinions or money or how the world is these days. Oh, it's just gross. It's like a turd sitting on top of the Mona Lisa. It's just creates this gag revulsion reflex inside of me. And the more I think about the situation we're looking at in Matthew 26 at this house in Bethany with this lady who's anointing Jesus at the table and what the disciples do in response, the more it feels like that gross kind of thing to me, like just sullying a beautiful thing before they could even think to realize the stupid, unretractable things that they had just done. What is Jesus going to do to salvage the disciples trampling all over this beautiful moment, this beautiful anointing? Well, we'll pick up partway through, and here's what it goes. All right, the lady, she's anointing Jesus, reclining at the table. She's burning through incredible wealth to do this. It says, when the disciples saw this, they were indignant. Why this waste, they asked. This perfume could have been sold at a high price and the money given to the poor. Aware of this, Jesus said to them, why are you bothering this woman? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you'll always have with you, but you won't always have me. When she poured this perfume on my body, she did it to prepare me for burial. I tell you the truth. Wherever this gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her. Wow. Jesus went 100% in on defending the girl, on defending the beauty of the moment, restoring the beauty of the moment. I don't know how else you socially put this thing back together, but somehow he pulled it off right there. What had to happen socially in this moment was that those men had to be told off in front of her while she stood there saying nothing, continuing to do what she did. And those men had to have it explained to them why they were completely missing the point and why the only person in the room other than Jesus getting the point was this woman who they imagined to be so far below them. Why are you bothering this woman? Boom, instantly, he just stiff-armed their behavior. He doesn't give any credence to, well, yeah, you're right. Like we really, maybe we could have done half of the thing, but also we could have sold half of it to make some donations to like the soup kitchen or something. Not at all. The most precious, valuable thing is Jesus. That is the opinion of Jesus. Yes, he's a servant. Yes, he's humble, but also he ain't a liar. And he knows that he fully participated in creation and in submission to the will of the Father and the redemptive plan that's in front of him. Yeah, he's willing to submit himself to humanity, to the indignities that come with that, to death, even death on a cross. He's game because he's committed to his Father and to the redemptive plan. But at the same time, he knows dang well who he is. And he knows dang well that the disciples know dang well who he is, and they should be able to do the mental math on this, and they are not doing the mental math on this properly. Now, I understand how somebody could look at this and be like, well, okay, hold on a minute, though. Like, they're trying to give to the poor. And I'm sorry that the beautiful moment got interrupted, but Jesus could at least acknowledge the good intentions of the disciples, and seems a little bit arbitrary to just snap at them over this with no warning. But hypothetical person who didn't actually say that and doesn't exist, I would counter that by saying, no, there was warning. Jesus has made these priorities super clear throughout his entire life. And Matthew's been observing a ton of these too. Like, just think about this. All right, Matthew chapter 2. The wise men show up, and what do they bring with them? Ludicrously expensive stuff. And in a sense, they anoint him with perfumes and elaborate, highly valuable gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, stuff that smells awesome, as a gift for his birth, his incarnation. Was that a good investment on their part to travel like halfway across the known world to give incredibly valuable things to some tiny kid born into an impoverished or largely impoverished family? No, it was a terrible investment. It was stupid. They're not going to get a financial return on that in the way we think of a financial return. Could they have sold that stuff and fed some poor people for several weeks or whatever? Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, you would have never heard of them, and you never would have heard of what they did. And under normal circumstances, like selling your stuff to help the poor, that's pretty noble. That's pretty good. I don't want to minimize that with my remarks. I'm just saying that Matthew holds out the wise men as sizing up the situation and doing a value judgment and being like, oh, wow, yeah, nothing makes sense other than using these riches in this way. And that's what we're going to do, even if it looks stupid, because there ain't no other Jesus. Like, this is the one, and there's no heaping of generosity or value on this Jesus that would be excessive or too much. Then you flip over to Matthew chapter 8, and you get the people who are like, yeah, I'm totally going to follow you. And Jesus is like, totally going to follow you. Like, right after I do these perfectly normal, responsible family duty type of things. And Jesus is like, follow me. Let the dead bury their own dead. What's he saying? He's saying, I am the most valuable thing. Those other things are almost the most valuable thing you could ever think of, but the value of this king exceeds even that. I feel like we're on a roll right now, and so I don't want to hit pause, but I think I need to hit pause. This is going to take way longer than 10-ish minutes to cover all of this completion stuff, all of these themes that match up with what we're looking at in Matthew 26. I'm talking myself into it. All right, we're splitting into two. We're going to come right back tomorrow and just pick up on this continued journey through the book of Matthew, looking at this theme of Jesus being super incredibly valuable and him strongly affirming the people who get the uniqueness of the moment that he is standing right there. Hit and pause. I'm Matt. This is the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast. Just pick it up right where we left off tomorrow.